Good morning to all. In this class, we will discuss about what are the terms associated with Foundry and what type of pattern materials to use in industry. Casting, one of the manufacturing process used for making components of complicated shapes in large numbers. So compared to other manufacturing process, casting is differ is used to produce complicated shape of component in large numbers. Here we pour the molten metal. Here we pour the molten metal in the mold cavity. So in this place, the liquid metal is converted into solid. So is known as casting. Here, the molten metal is poured in the mold cavity. So finally, to remove that unwanted things, to get that liquid shape of the component. So this is called the casting. So next, what is molding? Process of making liquid shape of the molding sand and with the support of pattern is known as molding. So here, this is the pattern. This is a mold cavity or cavity. It's a molding box, it's molding sand. So with the support of molding sand and pattern, finally to get that mold. So this process also called as molding. So cavity produced by molding is known as mold or mold cavity. Already I said that this is that mold cavity. With the support of pattern, you have to get that shape. Uh, next, foundry. The place where molding, melting, casting done is known as foundry. So in this foundry, we prepare the molding sand and transferring, blending, mixing, compacting, various molding tools we have to use, core, with this prepared with the support of core box, melt the metal and transfer the metal. So these are the things done in that one place. The place is called as a foundry. Next, pattern. Pattern is the model of casting. What type of shape if you want. Before you have to prepare a masterpiece. The masterpiece is called as a pattern. Mold is prepared in molding sand by using that pattern. Here given that various pattern materials wood, metal, plaster, plastic and wax. So it depends that the application and need. You have to use that any one of that pattern materials for the process. Wood. Wood is widely used for making that pattern. Patterns made from here telling wood, pine and rosewood. If you want to surface finish and light, you have to apply that metal coating of that wood pattern. So this is that wood pattern. So apply that metal coating to improve the surface finish and life. Then only to get that good appearance of that particular compound. Wood is cheap and easily available, easy to cut. When you prepare that masterpiece, how to easily to machine the support of a lathe. It can be easily handled. It's lightweight. So what are the drawbacks of this? Wood is affected by that moisture. So easily to affect, easily to worn out. It cannot be used for the mass production. So when the process was over, finally you have to remove that pattern. So pattern is tightly packed with the molding sand. So we spray or pour that water in around that pattern. So if you prepare that pattern is a wood, wood is easily to absorb that water particles. So automatically to get that damage in few after that few months. So it's suitable only for uh, very few castings to produce. So it's not suitable for that mass production. Metal. So compared to wood, metal life is high. Uh, Metal pattern is used for producing large number of castings. So generally cast iron, brass, aluminum are used for pattern making. Aluminum is the best metal for pattern making because of the availability and the flexible. Have easily to change the shape. So this is the best. This reason behind you have to use that aluminum. Brass is suitable for small size pattern. If you want to prepare that small size pattern, mostly they prefer for that brass material. Pattern life and dimensional accuracy is more. suitable for that mass production. Uh, so constraints the metal patterns are heavier and costlier compared to the wood. Machining of metal patterns is difficult. So compared to wood, it's not easy to machine. So it takes some time. So these are the disadvantages of that metal pattern. Plaster. Gypsum cement is known as the plaster. Here we have to mix with that water and the plaster finally to get that shape. It's used for produce core box. Core box is used to produce that core. The main purpose of core, when we need hollow portion in a particular component, that time mostly to use that core. Particular core prepared with the support of this core box. Easy to make complicated shapes, cheaper and easily work. So drawback is for large size patterns. Not possible to make the large, only to possible for uh, small size and also to prepare that complicated shapes. Plastics. So thermosetting thermoplastics are used, it depends with application. So thermoplastics less number of castings because of that life. So the recyclable, but rigidity is less compared to the thermosetting. So here large number of castings you have to use. Advantage is lightweight, is not affected by the moisture. It's a good wear resistance. This is the best thing, reason to have to use that plastic. Wax. Wax patterns are produced from paraffin wax, shellac wax, and beeswax. Liquefied wax is injected in a split die. Once that die is cooled, then you have to take away from that pattern, away from the product from that particular molded die. Advantage, accurate shape can be made. The molds prepared wax was smooth to get the good smooth surface compared to above said like wood, metal, plaster, plastics. Compared to that above said things, to give the good surface means no need to go for that secondary operations. That appearance was good, so no need to go for that. Thank you.